is any better than it is right now, I don't think the best Cubs team can beat them.
Maybe not.
And the minute the Cubs changed during the winter and had a few, and now we got Lester to worry about the Cubs. I just heard that when I was gone over the weekend.
What's going on with Lester?
Lester has on the DL.
Is he?
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, Lester has some strain in his throwing arm.
Is that right?
So I don't know. It could be just for a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's bad news, honestly.
But I haven't heard any more what I heard about it and read. Now.
Fucking Lester, man. That's so he hasn't been pitching incredible this year, though. This hasn't been his best year either. So but you need him. I mean, like I said, if you have three. This is how the Giants won 3 championships without having a single guy who can hit the ball.
You're right.
If you have 3 good pitchers, you can shorten up a playoff series because of that. You only need 3. You only need to play 3.
You're right.
And 3 dominant pitchers. I think they had Bumgarner, maybe Lincecum, Kane.
And they were working. I mean, that's when Kane still had his. That first year they won. Man, their pitching was brilliant. Even Lincecum was still quite good at that time.
But that's how you win, and that's why the Nationals are dangerous as shit too with Scherzer and if Strasburg is healthy.
And you know what? Then the other thing is, in the American League, it's kind of the same situation. There's no race in the West because the Astros, nobody can catch them. Mariners or Angels, who I like both those teams, but they'll never. And then they're really, I guess there's kind of races in the East. There is the Yankee, but it's pretty much from this point, unless something amazing happens, Yankees and Red Sox fighting it out. And who got the best of the weekend? Was
Boston,
it? They only played 3, so
I think Boston went 2-1.
Yep, they got 2. Okay, and then the Indians seem to have a comfortable lead in the Central because the Twins keep fluctuating up and down. The Royals made a giant run after not trading away their team, but now they're 7 back. And
you got to think that the Indians are quite a bit. Again, like I was saying, they're a better team. Well,
and now they traded for the bat. Who's the guy from the Mets? Jay Bruce.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah, so now they got a left-handed power hitter, which is pretty good in the Cleveland, in the progressive field where they play.
Yeah, Cleveland's a great team. They have a good lineup as well. A great coach, Terry Franklin.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite managers of all time.
Especially,
and I never used to be a Red Sox fan, but I loved him even though, because I liked him so much, I didn't mind seeing those guys get. Well, they're like the Cubs in a way for me. I was happy to see them and their fans get it. Everybody
same
needs
situation, essentially.
Yeah.
Except the whole Babe Ruth thing.
And then since I mentioned who did I mention besides the? Oh yeah. Then we also, besides, the Astros. I told you I heard today that they're playing the Nationals for 3. Yeah. For 3 games, and it's interesting because you can't really compare them to any of their division anymore. They've won that division.
Yeah.
There's no way they blow that division.
Yeah.
But how do you think they stack up with the Nationals?
That's interesting. I probably...
The question is because they almost have the same record.
They do.
76 and 48, 74 and 48.
So 1 game difference between the two of them there.
Pretty much.
They
both won... Nationals have won 7 out of their last 10, 5 for the Astros. So the Nationals are doing pretty good.
Well, it kind of depends on who pitches. Let's take a look at who's actually going to play. But I know that, Carlos Correa, I'll say that. I mean, him being gone is a big, big blow for Houston.
Yeah, and how about the other guy, the shortstop?
Altuve. No, he's the shortstop. Right. Altuve is the second baseman.
Right.
But he is healthy. But on the other hand, I think Scherzer might be hurt. I'm not entirely positive on that. So it's like...
God, you're right.
And Bryce Harper, of course, is hurt.
He's hurt.
Yeah.
And they've had their other outfielders hurt,
which
I did hear the TV boys saying. But
I don't know. This is a tough one to call.
It's a good question because in the World Series, you could end up with... that would be an unpredicted matchup.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Cubs or Dodgers being in it. Or... I don't know if they would have really predicted the Nationals to be meeting either the Yankees or the Red Sox because I guess the big question is can Yankees or Red Sox ultimately beat Houston with Cleveland still there they're at 69 wins and they've got good pitching.
Well, I think that
they're more balanced.
That's a good question. They are balanced, and that's actually the reason I like Boston better than New York this year, is because New York has had an inconsistent pitching again, and now inconsistent batting a little bit. But Chris Sale has been ridiculous.
Best pitcher in the American League.
Seems like it. Pomerantz has, I think, won like his last 9 games or something like that.
For a quick backtrack, then the Cubs. I mean, we talked about pitching. Lester maybe isn't going to be around for a couple of weeks.
Right.
But Arrieta has won 6 straight decisions, at least 5, since the All-Star break.
Yeah, he's been pitching well.
He's really on. And Lackey has won 6 straight decisions to all of a sudden be 12-10.
Really?
And those 2 guys are being at least 2 of the type of playoff pitchers you could count on.
They playing today.
And of course, Lester's got plenty of time to be better. But Cubs are playing the Reds, and I think
Lackey's pitching.
Cool. And did they say 10-9 or 11-9?
It's 10-9.
All right, but he was like 5 and
having a
9
poor
or
year.
something. So he's won 5 in a row. This could be 6. But right now they got them, and then, God, who's the guy we haven't even seen? Hendricks?
Kyle Hendricks.
Is he on the disabled?
I have no idea, actually.
He's got to be. He was the Cy Young winner last year.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Hope he's not in the minor league.
Right. Well, I mean, you got to be a fan of what the Cubs are able to put together too. Honestly, the Cubs, I think, have a great shot of beating the Dodgers. If anybody's going to beat the Dodgers. Well, honestly, the Nationals could too, though. So I guess really the Dodgers aren't invincible. This might be one of those years where where we see like a Mariners type situation, like we were talking about at the beginning of the show.
It took them so much to get there and win that many games.
Well, sure.
Then they had maybe
all of a sudden,
few
Arrieta's
keys.
hot, Lackey's hot out of nowhere. You get Kyle Hendricks playing.
I know what happens if Bellinger's out for a while and he comes back and he's not whacking homers anymore. At least not at the crucial period of the last 2 weeks of the season in the playoffs.
All of a sudden, Yasiel Puig striking out 3 times a game.
You mentioned Puig earlier, and I got to say, it is too funny for how he was touted, what a jerk he acted like off the field, and various things that he did. Now he keeps his mouth shut, but he's probably like the weakest of 8 starting players. He's like the 8th best batter. But he still hits homers. That's why they're winning everything.
Yeah, it really is, though. He's a good batter. Not a great batter. No. He was touted as being a Mike Trout or a Bryce Harper.
And the answer there is nah.
It's not. That's not the truth. Yeah, like he could be if he was a smarter batter, but he's just not. He strikes out way too much. He's not smart. He has that big old loopy ass swing. Golf club.
But he's been a pretty good 8th best guy for them, as far as the fact I noticed they keep playing him, and he seems to get a hit, and he seems to make plays, the few of which he blew a few years ago off defensively.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Even though he has this wonder, he's
right arm.
Yeah, but he would just misplay.
Well,
and at the major league level, they would be a little like, come on, we can do it once or twice.
He was too much of a wild cannon.
Yeah.
But he does seem to be reining that in a little bit.
Like you say that with his arm. I think he had a few terrible throws at one time where he tried to gun somebody out at the plate and caused more runs got in or whatever because it was like, you shouldn't have done that.
And then he played in the minor league. He played in the minor leagues for a few months.
Yeah. Well, he did do that, so I give him credit for getting back. But
me too. Nobody thought he was going to get back.
If that's their only weakness, I mean, if that's one of their guys who's now being humble and happy to play there, but they got that Davey Roberts, man, that guy, he is a good manager.
He is.
Whenever he was a Dodger against the Giants, who I am a big fan of, I was always going, man, that guy's a pest. But that's what your ball players should be, pests. Yeah. Hits, walks.
Well, he's the guy that
pay attention, take steals.
Oh, that's exactly. He's smart. He was the
never let one pass ball get by that you don't advance to another base.
Well, he stole. If you remember back to the Yankees Red Sox 2003, when the curse was still going. It was 2004. Excuse me. When the Red Sox finally broke through. They were down 3-0 to the Yankees, if you remember that.
Oh, totally.
And he stole home on Mariano Rivera to win the game.
He was on the Red Sox.
Yeah, he's the one that stole. Yeah, he stole the game-winning base.
Then the thing that never would have ever happened: a team wins 4 games
in a row
after being down 3-0, and against the Yankees, who, of course, I didn't even. As a Yankee fan, I'm not greedy. They've had plenty of championships. Yeah. And I just root for them so that then I can be amazed if they don't win. I'm really happy that somebody really stood up and took them down, especially the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Because I loved Terry Francona as their manager, even though they weren't my team.
Yeah.
And the way they did it, like you said. So, yeah, that Dave Roberts guy, he knows baseball.
He does, man. He's smart. The small things, like you're saying, walks, stolen bases.
They made it so tough on the Cubs last year.
Oh, yeah. Well, and they had a worse team.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think the Cubs had the hotter.
Oh, yeah, a way better team.
But the Cubs had what happens a lot still, is you're not going to get the same year the next year out of a guy that was a rookie and hit 280 or above or something.
Yeah.
It's so hard to think he can do the same thing again the next year.
Well, who are you talking about there? Talking about Schwarber? Is that?
Baez.
Yeah.
Even still was, hit 290 last year, but he's still been... he's back up to 260 something or whatever, and he's driving in runs, and they all drive in runs.
240 or
and Rizzo has the production this year, but he doesn't have that 290, 295 average like last year. So, I mean, I'm just saying you're right. Like either organization, the Dodgers have guys doing stuff nobody thought they'd be doing this year.
Exactly.
People are saying, "Oh, well, the Cubs got rid of that catcher Montero or whatever because they finally said." All right, we got to go with Contreras.
Yeah.
And I got to say, I saw him play twice this year, and what this guy's going to be the next Yadier Molina.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, he's...
Defensively?
He's and hitting-wise.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, and he's picked it up, so he's really... that was the best thing about watching the Giants and the Cubs a couple of weeks ago was this is going to be the guy. And all the fans that night were talking when he come up, and Cubs fans and other guys are going, this is our guy, man. This is going to turn into the next Yadier Molina.
Is that right?
And as a Cardinal fan, I don't get excited about him that often, but then I realize as a baseball fan, the guy is so great and so solid, and he's got quite a few World Series under his belt. So how could you not come to the conclusion one of the best, most solid catchers in baseball to this point?
Great game manager. That's an incredible comparison as well.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. The Cardinals always up there in the top 5?
Well, Yadi Molina is probably the best catcher in the game.
Meaning their ERAs every year. Their pitching is up there statistically, and a lot of that's him.
I agree. Yeah, no, and you're right. A lot of that is him. He's one of the best just game managers. He understands pitchers' strengths, pitchers' weaknesses, batter strengths and weaknesses.
See what else is
you hear people talking about that a lot on ESPN or MLB Network and things like that. It's almost unfortunate that Yadier Molina's played so long with the Cardinals. Honestly, I think he might have achieved more.
You know what?
With somebody else, Boston.
I would tend to agree with that.
Same team.
I would tend to agree with that because
I feel like the Cardinals may have peaked, like winning some World Series with not a tremendous amount of offensive talent and stuff like that. It's hard.
Yes.
Like the way that the Giants are. Like the Giants got really lucky.
I know. Well, they got to get the hitting back again, and Posey can't do it himself.
Oh, not at all. Well, he was never he was a solid hitter, but he was never going to power an offense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's a good hitter for average, and a decent home run hitter, decent doubles hitter, but. Like, he was never going to be like an Arenado or like a Bryce Harper. I mean, the Nationals, they got hitters all day. Daniel Murphy, they got dudes. I mean, they're basically the Cubs.
The
Ryan
Nationals
Zimmerman,
again.
Brian
Rendon.
Bryce Harper. Oh, yeah, Anthony Rendon.
Those guys are, I got to admit, I'd like the Nationals. I got no reason not to like them. Besides my Cubs, they're a fun team to watch.
I'm rooting for them. I like Bryce a lot. I love Strasburg.
Good for baseball.
It would be good for baseball.
And Strasburg, there's your story. The guy that we've been waiting 10 years for, whatever it is,
it's been a while.
To finally go, draft pick finally succeeded and got into the big World Series.
He's had a great last 3 years, but he did get injured this year. But I mean, he was last year. I think he was 15-2 or something like that, 16-2, had a low ERA.
No,
he was their number one until the very end of last year, and then it became Scherzer.
You're right.
Scherzer was their number 2 until the very end of last year.
No, you're right. He slowed down.
I don't know what's going on. So I'm gonna see what he's doing, man. What is Strasburg all about these days?
Well, let's see. Look him up.
Is he injured? I'm pretty sure he's got to be injured.
I don't know. Again, I'm back to this. All right. These guys would be.
Yeah, Steven Strasburg. I like how it asked me who I'm talking about. Strasburg? Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
The only season, you know.
God, they don't have the Dodgers, but I mean, again, they're decidedly better than the Rockies or Arizona by record.
The Dodgers? Oh, yeah.
Or no, the Nationals.
Oh, the Nationals.
Even. So, I mean, they're by far